Hello and welcome to the Loresworn Order playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 Together for Victory. It's the new expansion for Hearts of Iron 4 that is either coming out very shortly or is already out, depending on when you're watching this, with a focus on the Commonwealth nations, on subject nations in general. There's lots of new mechanics for that. I am TJ Hafer, and we have the whole order here, including
Hello.
DM Schmeier, Chloe Liz, and Brianna.
Hello.
And yeah, we are going to be playing a new game as Australia, one of the nations that was fleshed out in this particular expansion. Also, Casey the Lore Dog is here.
You're not quite sure if she approves of Australia or not. She's currently scratching her ear.
Everyone should approve of Australia and New Zealand. Wonderful nations.
Australians earned their place in the history books in the Great War in blood. The sacrifices made in the Gallipoli campaign have not been forgotten, and neither were those who ordered it. Australia now stands at a crossroads. Should she stay with her colonial master, about to be drawn into another conflict in distant Europe, or should the focus be on the threats that are appearing closer to home?
Dun dun dun!
Yeah. So we've got some interesting options. We can basically say screw the Commonwealth and
never another Gallipoli.
Go off on our own. We can support
to fight giant man-eating spiders.
Support the Indonesians in breaking free from Dutch colonial rule.
To fight giant man-eating spiders. I was gonna say mosquitoes, but
spiders, snakes, mosquitoes.
We can even throw our lot in with China against Japan. So we've got some cool
giant
options
man-eating
here.
dragons.
Yeah, so because we are playing as the Allies, and because I have played a lot of Hearts of Iron 4, and it's usually not fun, I'm going to go ahead and strengthen the Axis a little bit.
I don't know that I'd strengthen Italy if you want to make it historically accurate.
Just a tick on Japan and Italy here. And then Germany, I'm just going whole, ultra Hitler mode, basically.
Well, it seems like that's about what it... And that's one of my only criticisms about balance in this game. It seems like it basically takes that to make them what they were historically. Not even, give them a chance to win, but make them formidable at all.
I've seen German AI just continually get bogged down in the Soviet Union, which I think is a product of the factor that you can conquer this much of Russia and they still won't surrender, which doesn't really make sense because there's not really anything over here.
Not at this point in history.
That's actually pretty accurate. Literally, they were fine with people marching on Moscow, and they were like, "We still fight." And
okay, maybe that's more accurate than I thought.
Well, the Russians the Russians would always use their territory as one of their advantages and edges in war.
Yeah, They pretty much just retreat into where life was sucky in the winter and be like, "Come get us." And then everybody's buttons melted off.
Basically,
it was so cold and their pants fell down, and they're like, "We're going back to Germany."
Yep.
Actually, that was Napoleon. We're going back to France, but
Yeah.
It's the military rope-a-dope, and it is an effective strategy.
So as Australia, we start the game out with fairly healthy economy for a country our size.
Dang.
We got 4 military factories, 2 naval dockyards, 11 civilian.
Not bad for a small nation.
And we have quite a bit of tungsten, a little bit of chromium, and a fair bit of steel.
Steel is a great thing to be wealthy in, man.
Definitely a thing that we're going to like to have.
She huffed.
Yes. We are suffering from the Great Depression right now, as is most of the global economy. So here are the paths. I mean, we've got our army training, we've got our Royal Australian Air Force, we got our naval thing, and then our standard industrial. But what's unique to Australia is this new political tree. We can go down an advisory war council path, which eventually allows us to get rid of the Great Depression. Again, like the U.S., if you watched our U.S. series, we have to actually be at war.
To get rid of the Great Depression?
Or actually, we just need a certain amount of world tension. Basically, we need to be able to justify
we need to profit the
government
industrialization
investment in arms, the arms industry. So this is going to be kind of an economic tree here that's going to help us invest in our nation.
So that's an option.
So then our big decision is between never another Gallipoli, which will pull us further away from the Commonwealth, or support the policy of appeasement, which we can't do until after
Casey disapproves of appeasement.
Yes, that's good, Casey. You'll be seen as being on the right side of history with that.
I'd say, the purpose of fun games like this is to go in directions that are maybe a little ahistorical and fun.
Yeah.
I think the choice is made for us just by the nature of a series like this.
Gotcha.
Never another Gallipoli.
So then that allows us to basically go for a free democratic Australia with Protect the Homeland, or we can abandon the Westminster system and support either the communists or the fascists within our own country.
Huh.
So yeah, that'll be our.
That's what I would say we would go to.
You want to go with the Westminster system?
No, I was gonna say let's sever ties with the UK and go the USA route.
Free democratic Australia, basically.
Yeah, go the USA route.
Yeah, that allows us to offer protection to the Dutch colonies, woo the USA. Eventually, we can start the Southwest Pacific Initiative, which will give us the event Australia as a global leader, which I think is going to...
Why not? Let's see if we can do it.
And eventually sends us on the path to war with Japan, so we're going to end up fighting with the Allies anyway.
So
let's do it. I'd say
the
first focus we should do, though, is... A small nation needs its industry, so
exactly.
We got to go down a few of these first.
Definitely want to grab some industry early on,
just because we need it.
By the way, this is the new subject system. So at the moment, we are a dominion, which means that we have more powers than a colony, but we're not quite a free nation. And as our autonomy ticks up over time, we can eventually break free if we so choose.
And we so will.
The one disadvantage to that is we are currently getting a Commonwealth research bonus, where any technology that any of the other Commonwealth nations has already researched, we get a massive bonus for each Commonwealth nation that has researched.
So there's a layer
already.
To strategy. Obviously, there's some things that you got to be a free nation to pursue.
Right. So we
want to time it well.
Right. We want to unlock these extra research slots before we break away.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to need some time anyway.
Right now, that's what's going to allow us to keep up. So see, look, we start out...
If only they had a handy map like this before they voted for the Brexit.
Politics.
Sorry, too much?
No, that's all right.
You're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah. Let's see. So we have some free naval dockyards. What kind of ships do we have? That's a question I should probably look at. So
whatever we got, we need better. So
right.
We're an island nation.
Heavy cruisers, battle cruisers. We're probably going to be focusing mostly on screens and maybe submarines, because we don't really have the production to produce anything much larger than a battle cruiser. But we probably should have some.
I'd just research them. We get a 10% bonus.
Yeah.
Let's improve that Navy, man. We're an island nation.
So we don't have the research slot right now. I'm trying to figure out what to build with our current dockyards. I think maybe just stacking up some destroyers for now.
Need the Navy, man.
Might be our best bets. Let's do one thing at convoys, since I'm almost always producing convoys. I know that bugs some people. And then one of our destroyers. Let's go ahead and deploy them to the Australian squadron. And then we've got free civilian factories, which almost always want to use those to build up more civilian industry in the early game here. Tasmania, why not?
Tasmania.
I think we'll hold off on developing Papua New Guinea until
the West Indies are liberated.
Until we have a stronger handle on the immediate tactical situation. Logistics-wise, all we're needing to produce right now is infantry equipment, so we might as well stockpile as much of it as we can.
Yep.
And that's going to leave us at a small oil deficit, so I think we can probably get some of that from Mother Britain, of course. And that should put us in a good situation. We do have low manpower, but we can change that.
But we're Australia in 1936.
Right.
Manpower is low.
Exactly. So
you need more mans.
These cavalry divisions are not worth my time, so I'm going to just change everything to a standard infantry template. We're going to assign these to a commander. We have Leslie Mooreshead, and also Thomas Bradley, Henry Windsor. Let's see. This guy's a hill fighter, Desert Fox, Panzer leader, and I'm sure some people in the comments, especially our Australian history friends, can tell us kind of who these guys were, because I don't know that we have a lot of specific knowledge on that.
Oh, I don't.
I just accidentally promoted him to a field marshal. That's okay, though. We've got 3 other level 4 generals.
I wonder how many real life decisions have been like, oops, we just promoted you. Oh man, guys.
Yeah, the only problem is he loses a skill level, but he gains the ability to lead more troops, which is okay because we're probably going to need a field marshal anyway, and he didn't have any special traits, so we're not losing out on that.
So weird question: since you need more people, is there a way to incentivize
breeding?
Babies?
Not that I know of, but we can change to, like right now we're a volunteer army only,
okay.
and we can go to a limited conscription eventually and increase that, down the track. Oh yeah, another new thing is they've added continuous focuses so that you actually have something to spend your political focus on when you've finished the tree, so you can just pick one of these.
That is a very intelligent addition. I approve.
Definitely needed, because previously at the end of the game you were just stacking up political power that you never used.
There's an option to suppress your subjects?
Well, yes. if you're occupying foreign territory.
Okay, I was like, that
I don't know how
like
much of that
really
will do.
Weird,
Actually, if we go down if we were going to go down the fascist branch, there's actually there's a war focus to conquer New Zealand, but I don't think we're going to be going that route this.
Nah, we'll leave the Kiwis alone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're cool dudes.
They are cool dudes.
Sweet ass.
Perth has a single division over.
Is he doing jumping jacks?
He is.
Yes.
He's doing jumping jacks?
They've even added Anzac infantry models, so they get their badass hats that they actually wore.
Oh my god!
They're training.
Giant doing jumping jacks.
They're training and push-ups.
Yeah. Got to train up our
physical stamina is important.
Trainees and our greenhorns into regulars. It's going to be consuming a fair bit of equipment, but our production should be able to catch up. Nationalist Spain, so the Spanish Civil War has erupted. Francisco Franco and his dudes are starting some shit.
And we will see how that goes.
Gosh darn it, Franco.
He almost always
said
wins.
Spain.
The only times I've ever seen Republican Spain win is when the Soviet Union intervenes and sends volunteer divisions. Remilitarization of the Rhineland. You know what that means?
Worrying. Indeed.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, we're still gonna. I think we still need more industry. I would go with the railways. Unify the country.
Standard gauge railways. New South Wales and Central Australia get one infrastructure.
That's what you need, man.
Yep.
You need
to get
infrastructure. As a tiny nation, we should have incredible infrastructure.
How many destroyers do we have total? Because I am going to want to stop building them at some point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe let's get one more destroyer, and then we can look at maybe adding some more light cruisers. Modify government. So the first... Oh, can I? It says I can modify the government.
You can change industrial concern.
Oh, because we have Jack Piddington, and we get a huge discount on him.
Yep.
I'll wait though, because the pro strategy is to spend all of your starting political power on advisors that give you more political power.
Absolutely.
Very StarCraft.
I was gonna say, that's not even pro. That just makes sense.
Yeah. Go for mechanical computing here. We'll
Absolutely.
be the first in the Commonwealth to have this.
Woo.
So we'll help our Commonwealth allies get it as well.
All right. So while you guys help the Commonwealth, Brianna and I are gonna work on.
Cool.
We're gonna take off, work on a couple cosplay videos,
Yeah.
and we'll check back in with you guys a bit later.
So these
fun.
two will be popping in and out, and yeah.
Bye, guys. Hola.
Construct epic costumes, ladies.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, just our our former cavalry divisions. We should probably rename these guys here if we can. Yeah. So this is going to be the 6th Infantry Division. I do want to name and keep track of all of our units, because we're not going to have that many. So we're going to have an opportunity to tell detailed stories about, specific units.
Yeah, what they got awesome. Up to. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, 7th Infantry. And we might give them some nicknames later on based on
as they earn them. Absolutely,
their exploits. Yeah,
that sounds like a blast.
Which also, another thing they've added for the Commonwealth nations, we can get special divisions unlocked through focuses.
You would kind of have to do something like that.
The Rats of Tobruk. Once we research that, we get the Rats of Tobruk as a special division that we can then take control of, which is pretty awesome.
There we go.
Standard gauge railway.
That is it's just I go usually this is the focus tree I go mostly down.
Which this was a problem in the late 1800s and early 1900s. That people had been building railways all over the place, but there wasn't any sort of standardization. So trains built for the rails built by one company wouldn't necessarily be able to run on the rails by built by another company. And that's why standard gauging was so important. I think who was it in the U.S. that was like the champion of that? I can never remember.
Oh man.
Yeah, someone will answer. Someone who knows early modern industrial history better than us.
Industrial history is not really my focus or area of enthusiasm, to be blunt.
By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and just have these guys running some dummy missions, just so that our Air Force is doing something in case we get surprise attacked by
the Dutch East Indies.
The Dutch. All right.
There are only two things I dislike in this world: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
Yes.
Austin Powers reference.
So Herbert Evatt is going to be our silent workhorse. We have to support the policy of appeasement to hire him.
All right, bud. Sorry, we're not.
They've added a little bit more strategy in here. Cool. All right. Well, we can hire a backroom backstabber. He doesn't give us as much political power, but Robert Menzies will give us a little bit extra. And then the second thing I almost always do is we want to switch from a civilian economy to early mobilization, assuming world tension is high enough. If not, we'll just hire an industrial advisor or something.
Absolutely.
Also, how much steel do we have?
Quite a bit.
We have a surplus of steel, so we could actually switch to free trade for the construction and research bonuses, at least for now, because we're not.
I would. If the economy is healthy and running a surplus in critical resources, why wouldn't you?
I forget who it was during the last game who was just livid with me for keeping it on free trade for the entire game, but I like those construction and research bonuses.
It was also we were playing on Imperial US. It made sense.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay, 70%?
So New Zealand and the UK both have this, so we're going to get it in 35 days. Thanks, Kiwis.
We'll take it.
Missing equipment. Close air support. Oh, so we're having some... We had a single accident. Let's go ahead. Let's just run missions during the day, and let's do low intensity.
Yeah. We don't need to be rebuilding planes because of training accidents.
I don't know how they managed to crash one of our 24 planes before 1937, but it happens. This is still not the infancy, but the adolescence of military aviation.
So, and our fictional pilots here aren't any good. So
apparently. All right, so we're going to want to do the
South Australian Housing Front. Absolutely.
Trust, 2 civilian factories, planned communities, housing improvements, especially in Adelaide.
We got to build our country.
I guess I didn't hit start on it. There we go.
Got to build the country.
Australia is really well set up to become a second-tier industrial power. So I think we can definitely... I'm thinking concentrated industry because...
I would agree.
The only thing we would have to worry about is if Japan decides to park a bunch of carriers off our coast and bomb shit, but I don't think, especially with the U.S. Pacific Fleet...
out there.
Because we are playing on historical focuses, so we don't have that worry that like maybe the U.S. isn't going to get involved that you do sometimes when you play with historical focus off. So I think concentrated industry makes more sense for an island nation.
I would agree.
I really doubt we'll be fighting a lot of battles on our home turf. We might fight, some battles in
New Guinea.
Solomon Islands here, or what is this island chain? I didn't want to switch to air mode.
Bismarck.
The Bismarck Archipelago. Actually, it was owned by Germany before World War I. That's why it's called the Bismarck Archipelago.